Yeah.
Something they don't tell you about following your dreams.
Like, okay, I didn't win this time, but I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, the ones that strive hard are the ones that are consistently on their craft. So where every single time, even their worst game is like someone's best game.
Fuego Dance Crew, who picked who in this duel?
We chose to duel COD Flamenco.
But it's all love, though, all love. We love what they do. Like, they're strong women, and we admire that. Everyone here is here for a reason.
The thing is, you're gonna get a lot of no's. You're gonna get a lot of no's. You're gonna get a lot of you're only as good as the person next to you. You gotta prove that you're better. Like 20 to 23 is more important, I think, than like 25 to 28.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Hugging My Chaos. Today we have a professional dancer, Eric Payan, who has been dancing for 11 years and is here to tell us and talk about resilience and what they don't tell you about following your dreams. So, hi, thank you for
How you
coming
doing?
here.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about like your dance career?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So, started dancing in 2010. It was like a school talent show. Me and two of my friends wanted to just perform for fun. And then, yeah, since that, it's always kind of been organic like that. So the same crew that we had back in the day, Fuego Dance Crew, ended up just kind of staying the same thing. So all my background in dance has kind of just been figuring it out with the crew. Along the years, we've got more training and stuff like that, but a big majority of it has just been like figuring it out, like trial and error.
So
Yeah.
since middle school you started.
Yeah, since
That's
middle school.
that's how you knew like it was your passion. Like how did you know it
Yeah.
was your passion? Because you were so young too.
Yeah, well, I always liked artistic stuff. So before dancing, I liked drawing comic books, like making my own characters. And then after that, I like to make little like home videos, like edit them and stuff. So I always like to be creative in some kind of way. And I guess like I always like music too. So dancing kind of had a mixture of like all the stuff that I like together. Yeah.
Damn, that's so interesting. Actually, I told you before, but I met you because of the popular video. It went viral, right?
Yeah,
The
there
video
was a couple that went viral.
Of the
but
world
yeah.
of dance. How was that? How was that
Yeah.
experience being on TV and like just seeing everyone? How do you
Yeah.
feel?
It was cool being on TV. It didn't really feel like I was on TV until like after we watched it. Like doing the show and like being on like set, all that felt like another competition. The only time it felt kind of surreal was when the celebrities were there. But even then, like I was really focused in on just like what we had to do. Back when I was like 22, I think at the time I was 22. We had a guy in our crew, Sean. He's still in the crew. He was like turning 18, so he had to be like in school on set. It was kind of funny, and we're all like older and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, after the fact, like watching it at home with everybody, that's when it kind of felt like I was on TV.
Oh, but
Yeah.
was there an audience there, or it was just you guys?
It was friends and family. Yeah, it was like the
Oh,
whole
okay,
crew. There was like 5 of us at the time.
Oh, because I thought it was like a whole stage and then a lot of people will be there. You know what I mean?
Performing.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, performing live. There was like a circular stage, and then people were all around us and stuff.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it was a really cool
yeah.
setup because it got loud the whole time when you're like performing. You can hear people from all the way around you. And usually you just perform with like 2D where you're like on the stage and then everyone's in front of you or kind of around you, but not like a whole circle around you. So
Wow.
yeah, whenever that happens, it's cool because you can see every angle for the audience. They can see every angle and like you can hear the noise from all around you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the adrenaline, right? Like you're just
Yeah.
in the moment. You don't even hear the noise. Because I remember when I
Yeah.
perform with you,
Uh-huh.
it's like you don't hear anything. You're just like feeling
Yeah,
the music.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
different feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a hit or miss thing. You just gotta really go for it. There is those times where like I performed and like I haven't done the best that I wanted to do. But back in my head, I'm like, dang, like this video is not gonna come out the way I want it to. But I mean, like most of the time you just kind of give it all on the stage,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
whole different world on stage.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I have a question. Do you consider like you've done a lot? You've done like a lot. You've gone to multiple countries, like places, right? Like you've
Yeah.
like traveled a lot, got to know a lot of people. Would you consider overall, seeing like the overall totality of like 11 years already, would you consider yourself successful in your profession?
Yeah. I'd say I'm about like halfway there in my head. 'Cause like you know, it's all about the art over everything. But I think when I get to a point where like every single day is like my full-time dance, that's when I'll feel like, okay, cool, you know. But beyond that, when I'm giving other people opportunities and when I kind of have the game down more, so I can start like to give out like, you know, gems and stuff, like to help people out, that's when I'll feel more like an accomplished dancer. Also, I still have a lot more to do in my head too, like competition-wise and just like, you know, show-wise and stuff. I kind of want to set a platform for Fuego that no one really has done yet, but there's just a lot more work that has to go into that to make it a thing. But every year's kind of inching closer to where I want to be with it. Yeah, so.
Well, two things. What position do you have in Fuego? Are you the like the director? You're something like, because you're always busy and you're always talking about Fuego and you're like managing everything. Like,
Yeah, I'd say I'm the director.
Oh, okay.
It kind of happened naturally over the years. Like when it started off, my friend Ricky, shout out to Ricky, he actually started the crew. He hired, I mean not hired, but he had me and Tavante, this other guy that I think you met before. It was the three of us. And even since the beginning, we all kind of like worked together. He was the one that had the idea that like changed everyone's life, you know, back, you know, he's the one that wanted to call it Fuego and stuff. I guess over the years, like in like a span of 2 years, I kind of had like an act for getting everyone together and stuff. So naturally, as time went, I kind of took that leadership role. But even as far as like 2012, 2013, even maybe even 14, I always said it was like a us thing, like it was the whole crew. But at some point, you kind of had to like, someone has to not lead everybody, but just kind of steer them in the right direction, you know? So I guess I kind of took that role with time. So yeah, I've ever since around, I think 2014-ish, maybe even 13, I guess I've been like the leader role. But everyone puts their piece in, yeah. So it's like I choreograph a lot of things, but ideally I like it when everyone has a piece of the pie, like when they're all doing their sections and we just kind of put it all together. Yeah, so.
How is it though? How is it managing your? Because I remember when I met you, you had a job, right?
Yeah.
So how was it like managing your crew, your job, your classes? Because you you will teach.
Too.
How was that like?
Yeah. It all comes down to like every day counts, you know. If you slack off for like any given amount of days, like the more days you slack off, it just kind of becomes what you do for the year. So how I see it, it's like if every day is productive, then every week's productive, and then if every week's productive, then like every year's productive, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just being harder on myself for my scheduling, which I'm still figuring out.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like a never-ending cycle, you know. But yeah, it's just focusing on one thing at a time, because if I focus on too much at the same time, then I'll get overwhelmed. Yeah, so it's just like, okay, this hour I'm working strictly on this, and then once I execute this, I gotta go to this next thing, which is like hard to do too when you got so much you gotta accomplish.
But you gotta manage your time very good, and you're good with times. You're good with times.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like on top.
I'm trying.
You're trying, because that's what Monse and I, my sister, were saying how you like we see you as very disciplined, like focused, like you know.
Yeah.
Because remember when we had the Fuego battle in Majesty?
Yeah.
You were like on top of things. You were like managing.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. We do have events that you know you've been to, the Ring of Fire events. I haven't had one in a while, but yeah, that's a lot of work from the whole crew. But my main goal is just to make sure it all goes good and everyone has a good time. Kind of like same thing with when it comes to routines. Like my what I'm best at, it's not even like my own stuff. It's making everyone else look good. So it's like, okay, how am I gonna set this person up for success with their choreography? Or okay, how am I gonna transition us to, you know, make the strongest people have their parts, and like just making the whole crew like more dynamic is what I've kind of got better at over the years, more than myself, you know.
Yeah.
Because you know every group has stronger dancers or like strong dancers. A really good crew has like 5 to 7 of the same level. It's very rare when that happens. So it's all about making sure that like everyone looks just as strong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has there been times throughout your 11 years of dancing where you faced something very like you faced an obstacle and you wanted to give up and just go take a different route?
Yeah, a lot of times.
And how were you able? What made you stay?
Yeah. Well, I had a time in 2014 when like I would be really hard on myself, you know. But just the right company, right people around that just reminded me who I was, and you know, reminded myself what I do and like what I have to offer, and also reminded myself that like it's never gonna be perfect. Like, you know, sometimes I'm gonna feel like I suck, and that's normal. That's part of it. That's a good feeling, because if that means that you want to do more, if I'm ever comfortable, then that means I'm not growing.
Oh, but could you share like a specific, if you want?
Yeah,
Can you share like a specific event that you have in mind
Yeah.
that like you were like, you know what, I just want to.
Yeah, I was close to kind of retiring, I guess, in 2020 or maybe 2021. I was living in Mexico and I was gonna get married and all this stuff.
Oh,
like,
wow,
yeah,
okay.
which is a cool time. I don't regret that. But it was on an island. Actually, Amar's from there. Yeah, this guy
Oh,
this guy in our dance crew in Amar's from Mexico. And anyway, long story, different podcast. But yeah, I was living there off and on for a year, and during COVID, so it'd be like 3 months there, like 2 months back here, and COVID was like a really annoying time for us because we had booked like a Dallas Mavericks halftime show. We had booked a TV show in Mexico City for 2020, all in March and April. But then the pandemic happened, so it's like when we were at our like highest peak, that's like when everything kind of shut down. Yeah, and then I kind of like fell in love for a second.
For a second.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like a premeditated thing. But yeah, so me being on an island, just really relaxing, like for the first time.
And in love, it feels like.
Yeah, and it was like for the first time I think I had that much like peace since like I started kind of,
Wow.
I mean, it's not like I don't hate what I do. I love what I do, but it's like consistently like every week something. So having that time off was like cool. I was still dancing. I did videos out there. I had to inspire myself. But I got to a point where I was telling my closest friends, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna like do this route and like, I love dancing still, but I think I'm gonna retire, stuff like that. But it's just momentarily, you know what I'm saying? Like you go through different phases and stuff, and you gotta like just figure out what you really want. But in that time frame, I had a lot of signs that were telling me, no, like this is not anything close to being like over or done. You know what I mean? I just told myself I had more to do, and I miss being back home too, because when I'm back here in California, you're just busy and consistently doing your stuff. So yeah, that was an interesting time, but it helped me for the next part of like what we had to do. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. This was back in like 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just a tongue twister. Yeah.
The question is, because I know that like you've done a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like in 11 years from like a lot of people have done, like, I'm not saying that a lot of people have done more, but like, like with the amount of work that you put in, with the amount of effort that like, I know, like, cause I know you, I know how much effort you put in, how much dedication you put in. And I feel like there could have been like a higher, like a higher result,
Definitely. Yeah.
But how do you not give up on that? Because I know you have that too. I know that you see yourself like, damn, 11 years, like I could have done like,
this
not
and
that you're not doing enough, but like you could have like reached somewhere like on a different level.
Yeah.
But you're still here and you're still persistent.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people after 11 years, I feel like they would have just,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, how I see it, if you put 10 years plus into something, that's kind of what you do. So, me putting in like 11, 12, 14 years into what I do just to like stop at a certain point would kind of be a waste of time. Yeah. If it was only 5 years into it, like 4 years, that's still a lot of time to be consistently doing something. But that's a little bit different. But, I kind of like Fuego's been like my middle school through now. Like
your whole life,
you know what I mean? So beyond that, I do a lot of other stuff, and with Fuego, I've been able to experience a lot of great things in life that most people, wouldn't at my age. So I think also it's a big thing is realizing that I have my own path. Some people can come into the game and get stuff done in 2 years that someone can't in 20 years. Some people can take some 20 years. Some people, it just depends on the level. Also, too, like it depends on like how much you're working and what kind of opportunities are around you. A lot of variables go into it. So how I see it is like, whenever we put a lot of work in, a lot of stuff comes back. And actually on my worst times when I feel like the most down is when someone hits me up like, oh, I like this performance, or like, oh, I want to book you for this. We get a big opportunity whenever I feel the most down. So yeah, I've had multiple times in my career when like I felt like I was kind of slowing down or like, there wasn't much happening. And then those instances, we just kind of picked it back up.
Actually, I'm glad that you talked about that, because I feel like personally, like I'm young and I'm ambitious, and I feel like I have this perspective that we live in a social media world. We like to see things fast, we like to just put in the work and then see the results. But we gotta acknowledge that it's gonna take time, right? Like it takes time, and sometimes, like you said, some people may do it faster because they have different opportunities, different resources, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But like other people are still working hard, but they're gonna have it after.
Yeah, everyone has their own time. Yeah, it's and like in this era we've experienced a lot of celebrities that got famous out of nowhere, and a lot of those careers like kind of stopped because it's just so much at one time. They didn't really build it up.
They're not ready for it.
Yeah, so the good thing about what we do and what I've been doing over the years is like there's been a lot of years of like you know making the foundation of what we do. So if we do get big opportunities, it's just like I'm not surprised by it. It's just the work we put into, and you know the right people will see your stuff. And actually, a lot of the times when we post videos and whatnot, we have the right people already watching our stuff. It's like directors, it's like people that know certain people that you know book a lot of stuff. It's event planners and stuff like that. So even if we get like say 10 views, one of those views would be from someone that like is kind of like quote unquote important, you know, more so than like getting 100,000 views of like you know normal people. Also too, social media is a great thing that we have in this generation and throughout our whole dance journey. But it's always been about what's in person more so, like because if you're legit in person, if you're legit in person, it all just kind of adds up. Like, I've known a lot of dancers that the best dancers are good at both. They go on social media and they have a lot of followers and they kill their content. They put a lot of time and effort into their content. But then you see them as a session or like in person and they're doing the same stuff. So yeah, it's hard to balance both of those, but that's like the perfect scenario. And it's very hard to balance both of those too, because you know, the effort it takes to get the cameras and get the lighting and make a video and then like consistently post while
And
booking
then-
your other shows,
Exactly.
while trying to like make a new routine. It's a lot that goes into it, but you know I like being busy like that. So
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you like progressing every single day. And you make
Yeah.
progress like every single year. I feel like you've gone
Yeah,
it's flying.
speaker, yeah. I mean, yes, progress in some kind of way, you know. I definitely have had times where I feel like my dancing has been stronger, but I have times where I feel like my creation's stronger. And then I have times where, you know, I feel like the way I book things is better. So if it's going up in some kind of way, then that's the goal. And I feel like this year I've kind of like improved myself in the aspect of like how to book us and how to sell ourselves to certain people. Which is kind of new for me. Like that's like a new thing, like the past 2-3 years. Cause we don't have any manager. We don't have anybody like pulling the strings for us. We got to put on like all the hats, you know? So it's fun. It's just a lot more work than like the usual like dance group, I guess. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a good challenge. Yeah.
Actually, you work very hard. I already told you that. But you know how like in Instagram they tell you that if you work hard, like you think working hard is all it takes, or what components are
Yeah.
in making it from what you've seen?
Yeah. Well, I mean, with hard work, the worst outcome you'll have is like you worked hard. So like say even if you work hard with no result, you still put in work that built your resilience up, or it taught you something in the process. So yeah, hard work is like the baseline, but I think it's mostly just finding out what you have that no one else has. Because we grew up as far as like hip hop, like 2000s was an era where every single artist sounded different. Like 50 Cent compared to like Ludacris, or Ludacris compared to T.I., or like T.I. compared to like Lil Jon, or you know, Usher. They all had their own sound, and I feel like with art that kind of like lost its flair a little bit. People are still like very good, but the thing is there's more access to stuff nowadays, so it's not as special. But I think when people really find out what they do for themselves, that's like how you're winning, you know. So working hard, and but really through working hard, finding out, wait, how do I move? Like, what's my inspiration beyond what I can just see, you know, like maybe you can be inspired by like nature, or be inspired by your environment, or like, you know, your family. When you find other things that make you, it'll set you apart from everybody else. Yeah. As opposed to being like, which is good too. It's good to like see people that you want to be like and strive to be like that. We all have that, you know, like I like Kobe a lot, this and that. But when you really find that out for yourself, because everyone that you really look up to, they had to find out what makes them them, and that's makes them so desirable, because everyone can see that they're
And you
just
feel it, yeah.
in their element. Yeah.
You feel it, yeah, because a lot of people, it's easy to copy others, right? Because like
Yeah.
you see inspiration, you kind of like become like them. But authenticity is harder because like you gotta like put yourself out there in a different way.
Yeah.
But it's also like, more people feel it, like people. Feel
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Yeah, I think authenticity, hard work, and consistency. Everyone that I met that's like way like leagues ahead of me, that are like doing what I like to do, or what I would aspire to do, they all say the same thing, just consistency. Like as simple as it is, they all tell me that. So yeah.
So you think those are the components that you have to have in order to get somewhere, like in order
Yeah.
to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, those three things across the board will do a lot for you. There's other components like right place, right time, or like just a lot of things that go into it. But if you have those three things, like you won't really go anywhere bad. Like
Because I was thinking of that idea actually. Like I always think about this idea that hard work and consistency can be fake if you live like in other places that they don't have like the resources,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see like a lot of people who work very hard, who like are consistent, and they have to like they don't have enough money to like feed their kids because they don't even have like the resources,
Yeah, it's all about like you said, like it's all about where you're at too. Luckily nowadays we're pushing more towards like era where you don't have to be in LA, you don't really have to be like in a certain spot. So where like now these foreign people in different countries that I've been to, they have more of like a chance. It's still hard to like get over here or this and that wherever they're trying to be, but as far as their social medias, they can still get as much happening in their select country. But then again, there is also
because of social media, right?
Yeah, because of social media, but also because of like how much stuff is advanced. But at the same time, some people do have it harder than say being out here in like the States, because like they gotta try that much harder to be noticed. So it's all about where you're from too. But I've definitely seen like my most inspiring times I've ever been inspired by are people that aren't from here. They're like the hungrier people from like different countries that I didn't know they were even going hard like that. So yeah, like Ecuador, for example, they go crazy out there. Like places like Mexico, like in certain places there, or like Colombia. Like I don't know, there's so much good talent out there that I would love for all them to have what they deserve. Like full-time work and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely headed towards that, where a lot of people are gonna get shine that deserve it, that are just like the regular hardworking person.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because actually I've seen a lot of Latin Americans, like or like Latinos, who like if they come to the United States, or like if you see them, they work like I've been there. I've been like I have a friend who she works harder than me. I'm like like she does a lot because like she has that hunger. She's like on most of them are in survival mode. Like I'm
for sure.
like I have to
it's
do
make or break.
Yeah.
Whereas like say if we're born here, like still hard work, but like we already have like an advantage of like being here, whereas someone else that's coming here, they're like hungry to even get here, but then when they're here, it doesn't stop. They just keep going with it. So I love seeing that too. I have a lot of friends, from Colombia that are out here, or like, from different countries. Venezuelans are actually very, very raw. Yeah, they're like some of my favorite dancers. But yeah, I think also too, adversity creates good art too, So, like sad truth about it. But I mean, like people make stuff out of it, and it's cool to see what they do with it. Yeah.
How since dance is an artistic movement, how do I say it? Art.
Yeah.
How are you able? What are 5 things that help you come back to creativity once you? Because like sometimes it's hard to be creative. I don't know. Maybe for you it's easier.
No, for sure,
but
it is hard.
How do you come? What are 5 tips that you have that have like mindsets that have helped you be more creative, consistent in this past this few years that you've gone through?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think especially since 2020, I felt like kind of like a reset with the crew, because we started in 2010. So fast forward 10 years is like a reset. And I feel like whenever I'm not as inspired or like as creative, the first thing I'll do is watch the best stuff from the past that I've made, because it's still the same person. I'm the same me. I'm just wiser now. But it's cool because like you'll look back at certain things you used to do and you're like, man, I was moving differently at this time frame, or like, oh, I was creating like that in this time frame. So I'm always trying to change it up, but then try to stay true to what I had back in the day. So that's like what I first do to stay inspired. Just kind of like watch yourself from the past, or if that's not dance, maybe like, oh, I like the way I was moving this year. What was I doing this year that I'm not doing right now, or vice versa? What am I doing now that I like more than back then? And then another thing I do also. Is just like I just create. So even if it's not my favorite thing, I had a time frame in 2022, or I think when I was making a lot of videos weekly, but I would make it with the mindset of it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to get it done. So then the more that I got down, it was just I got used to creating on the fly more. So that when it came down to like if I really wanted to put down a lot of hours for one choreography, I would like already be used to creating, and I can just go back and fix it up. So you can always rough.
So just starting to like from raw, right? Just like
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
yourself to get going, like create something.
Yeah, and you could always rough draft it too. Like you could always start something that's not the best, and then just like really nitpick that for like a long time. Come back to it, fix it again, and then come back to it, fix it again. So yeah, I'd say like the two first things is like going back to the past, but also reanalyzing what you already have, just refixing it, making that first draft, making that second draft, till you have your final draft of what you want. And I think another thing that helps is traveling.
Traveling.
For me, traveling, it just does so much, especially for dance. It really opens my eyes up because like I don't need recognition, like no one really does, but it's always like, no, we can't lie. It's a good feeling, when people appreciate what you do. So whenever I travel, it's like, it's fresh eyes on me, and like I get to just like express myself in a different way. And also I get to see talent that I haven't seen usually, in my community. Like there's a lot of great dancers out here in California, but different flavor in South America, different flavor in Asia, different flavor in Europe, so going to these places and seeing all this new talent that I haven't seen before, it really like inspires me in a different way, Like I don't take from anybody, but it's more so like I'll take how they're making me feel. You know what I mean? Because every dancer, no matter what level, you could take something from them.
And I feel like that applies to a lot of, like, anytime that I travel, I learn something new about life.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people have different habits, different cultures, and they teach you a lot. They can teach you a lot,
Definitely, yeah, definitely. So I think also, too, it makes you feel like the world's smaller than it really is. It's a big place, but then when you know people from, like, all over the globe, it just makes it feel like it's all your home,
Yeah, and you've gone to many places, huh? Like,
yeah. I do want to travel
many?
a lot more. I don't have an exact number, but I'm probably like 10 countries or so.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the cool thing is all been for dance. I don't really just travel to vacation. Every now and then, but I feel like I'm not old enough and successful enough yet to just do that. So if I travel, I want to make it worthwhile, like some kind of dance trip or some kind of connection or.
And then you create more. That's why you like it, because like it's community. You get to travel, you get to see other places, and you get to and do what you like.
It's awesome. Yeah. So I guess those three things to answer your question. I don't really know if I have 5 at the moment, but
Well,
your
those
past
are
self,
things,
the traveling, and then
that's what helps you like get up once you feel unmotivated.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I found another one, and also like another one that I don't need all the time, but when I get love that I don't expect.
Oh.
Yeah. So
how do you deal with those?
It's cool. This one time there's this guy that I went to high school with, and we barely talked. We were cool, whatever, like from a distance. I saw him at a house party, like back when I think like 2018, 19 or something like that, for Halloween or something random. But he came up to me and he's like, "Hey man, I remember this freestyle you posted, and like I thought it was like the coolest thing. And this video had like 100 views, and it's a video that I can't even talk. It's a video that I liked a lot, but it was a long time ago, and it was like 100 views. So that was really dope, because someone telling me from high school that, hey, like this video, I like that you did a lot, when I thought it was just something for myself. So hearing stuff like that every now and then kind of makes me more motivated to be like, oh man, like, people actually enjoy what I do because I enjoy it. You know what I mean? So that's not like a necessary thing, but that definitely helps, motivates me to make something better.
Actually, you talked about expectations. How do you deal when you have a high expectation and it's not met? Because that has happened to me a lot, and I'm guessing that has it happened to you?
That's part of it. Yeah, that's part of it.
How do you deal with it? Because you invest everything, you invest all your time into something, expecting, because we humans have expectations, expecting something like a big result, and it doesn't, it's good, but it's not as you expected. How are you able to recover from that quick?
I think you just have to go to the next thing. It's like two-sided, because you gotta just see it as another thing you're doing, but then you also gotta be hard on yourself. Because if I treat it like, oh, I'll go to the next thing, I'll keep progressing and keep moving on, but maybe the bar might not be set as high, as opposed to, oh, I didn't execute that one, I'm gonna go back to the lab and really hit that hard.
That's why you say analyze, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna analyze this. I'm gonna like figure out what went wrong for the next one, but you still move forward regardless. So having that mentality of like, okay, I didn't win this time, but I'm gonna keep going. But also not being too easy on yourself and be like, it's okay, if that's fine too, but your bar won't be set higher if you don't check yourself from doing not what you want to do.
I feel like what you said right now is because of experience, right? Like 11 years, it taught you that. It taught you like to control your feelings, to control your like expectations as well, right? Yeah,
no, definitely. Yeah, you have to. There's times where it's undoubtedly like you set the bar very high and you work super hard for it, and then sometimes you fall short, sometimes you get what you have, but there's either times when like you got something in the bag, like you put your hard work into it and it's gonna be like perfect, you know. But there's times where it doesn't come out like that, you know, and you gotta just keep pushing forward. You know, it's like any athlete. Like sometimes they have injuries, you know, sometimes they don't play well, sometimes they play very well. But
It's part of the process.
yeah, the ones that strive hard are the ones that are consistently on their craft. So where they're every single time, even their worst game is like someone's best game. You know, so that's what I'm trying to get to.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. What's something, the title is gonna be like, what's something they don't tell you about following your dreams? What's
Yeah.
something they don't tell you about following your dreams, good and bad?
Yeah.
Give me like 5 things.
Yeah.
I'll try.
I think something that the good thing is it's not as hard as, like, if you make it more simple in your head, it's not as hard as you think it is. Not like the whole
do you mean?
picture. Like, say if it's like, okay, I want to be like, I want to be on TV, right? Like,
An actor.
yeah, I want to be an actor. Okay, cool. You can tell yourself that, but you can make it simple. You know, like, I want to be an actor. Today I'm gonna reenact these lines from this play. I'm gonna, you know, get in touch with some of my friends and maybe like make a script.
If you break it down.
Yeah,
right?
just small things, and then like once, kind of like go back to the day, to weeks, to years stuff. If you make it like a small thing every day, and then you keep advancing it, you're making the right footsteps into where you need to go. As opposed to like, I want to be an actor, and then just doing your day job and not striving to be an actor. You know what I mean? Like it's about thinking about it, but then also making it such a real thing in your head that you start doing things that get you to that point. Yeah, so it's like it's not like, I'm not saying it's easy, but it can be mentally easy if you just really focus everything you want to what you want to do. So then you'll start moving that way.
Oh, so
yeah.
so you're saying that it's important to commit, right? To commit 100%.
Yeah, it's important to commit, but it's also important to set the small goals. You got to set small, tiny goals. Like you got to start off with the small wins. It can be even as small as like, oh, I ran a mile today. That's a win, you know, like, and then that could lead up to, oh, I'm going to do a 5K eventually, you know. You can't just like get up one day and run a whole marathon.
Which is what happened
Yeah.
to you guys, right? You started with dance, middle school, a club, and then...
Yeah, it was a small thing. So like, you know, from our background, I realized, oh, these small things added up to this. So even now, right now, it's like, what small things am I not doing? You know what I'm saying? And what small things do I have to change so that we can continue to be on our path? Yeah, so.
So if you look over time, 11 years, you're like, damn, I've done a lot. Like once you look back, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had a time frame where I wouldn't let myself be too comfortable with my accomplishments in a good way, because I wanted to keep going. But it's also good to take a time to sit back and be like, you know, all right, I did that. You know, pat yourself on the back for that. But me being who I am, I could do that only very short. I could be happy with it for like a day.
Yeah, I feel like
and then I'm back to the drawing board.
I see that.
Yeah,
but I feel like that's what it takes. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people get stuck in their accomplishments. That's how I am too. Like I try to like I congratulate myself. I buy myself boba because I love boba.
Yeah.
And then I keep moving, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you definitely have to treat yourself and like pat yourself on the back. But if you do that all the time, then you're gonna get comfortable where you're at.
You're gonna see yourself as more than you are actually doing, right?
Yeah, and maybe that's people's goals. Maybe like some, you know, that's fine too. If you get to where you want to be and you're happy with it, like that's totally normal too. But depending on what you're doing and how far you want to get with it, even like people that are millionaires, they sometimes want more.
Yeah.
They want to be a billionaire, you know, like they want to do more and more. Some people are millionaires and they're like, I'm set. Like, you know, I'm going to just take my bag and be happy with the family.
Oh, before you answer the other question, what do you have a like limit or of like success? This is success to me, or do you think you're always going to be wanting more and more and more?
Yeah, at a point, you know, when I was like in high school and like younger 20s, you know, I wanted to keep going, and I still will keep going. But I think right now my version of success would be able to like pay all my bills with dance, or like with my artistic creation.
Live off dance.
Yeah,
like
live
100%,
off of it.
Yeah.
More so like live good. Not like I'm wealthy and everyone knows me, but like I'm famous enough to where every now and then I'll get noticed, which I'm cool with that. Not to where I'm Justin Bieber famous, to where like everywhere I go I can't even go
Because
anywhere.
I feel like you like your privacy, huh?
Yeah, I like privacy, but I also like, you know,
Attention, both.
Yeah, it's both. But like, you know, I like it when it's random times where I'm out and about and then someone like notices me. It's very rare, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like that known, but yeah, it'd be cool to have that same level, but everything's taken care of. And to where I have extra to like have more financial freedom with that. You know, it's not all about money, but yeah.
Because I feel like that's where most of the things come up. Like, because I think success is more than money. But if you
Yeah.
if you think about it, like sometimes if you're stressed out and you cannot pay your bills, because right now like
Yeah.
I'm trying to do everything, but I have to work because I
Yeah,
have to, you
no,
know.
it's just part of it.
And
Yeah.
like it also plays a big role. So you're saying that without like if all your bills were paid, if you were able to like afford for your family,
Yeah.
you'll be good, right? Like you'll be
Yeah, yeah,
that'll be
I'll be happy with that. I think I still would want to do stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd be happy that that part's taken care of. I think more so than the money. I think if you have something that's valuable to offer to the next people that are coming after you, like knowledge or like just more ropes of like you got to do it like this, or hey, let me show you what I did and apply it for yourself. If you are someone that can also in turn give that to someone else, that's also a part of success too. I feel like and right now in this day where I'm at right now, I feel like I still need more of a gap for that to be someone
be
that
able
could
to
pass
share.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, me personally, you know, because there's still so much more I want to do with it.
And so much more you want to learn and build, right?
Yeah,
In
so much
order
more.
to-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, like I think a big success thing too, you know, being able to take care of the family, even beyond yourself, like if you're able to retire your parents, stuff
yeah.
like that. It's not like an easy thing, but my perfect world is like getting to a point with my creativity that like I can do that, you know.
That'll be nice, yeah.
And like I know people that the
Yeah.
cool thing is I met people in life that have
Done
made
it,
it
yeah.
work. You know, I've done it like that are full time creating and they're getting paid very well from it and they're like traveling for free and they're getting endorsements and
Wow.
you know it's a possible thing, but they work day in and day out. Like they just work harder than me or they're more talented, but you know it's like it's inspiring to be around that. You know, I think it's good to be around like-minded people. You know, you kind of need that. It's kind of you are who you hang out with, you know.
Yeah.
So if you have more friends that are like you said, you're getting more friends that are like having their own businesses and stuff. And if you're around that so much, it's not a new thing to you. It's more like, oh, this is just what people do, and now I'm gonna apply it to my own self. As opposed to if you're hanging around people that like are bringing you down all the time and like consistently in bad places, you're gonna feed off of that.
And they're gonna drag you down.
Yeah.
Because I seen it with my friends. Like I had to switch environments. Like I really
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And even though like I'm young, it's not that serious. Like it's time to like have fun, I guess. Like I had to like literally shift in my environment. I like completely changed my friends.
Yeah.
And it has helped me a lot. Like
Yeah.
the progress, the habits, the things that I'm doing. Like that's normal. You know what I mean? Like that's normal for me and my environment. Like my mom tells me, oh, you wake up like early. You wake up like at 5. But all my friends wake up. You know, all my
Yeah.
friends wake up at 5. So it's like it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
thing for like.
No, yeah, and I think that's a good pattern you have. Like I needed to get back on that, but I think that's a cheat code. Waking up at like 6, you get so much done by 12 or 1 p.m. so that you have more free time. Just get in the bed. I'm a night person. I'm a night owl. I love.
Well, dance requires
Yeah.
a lot of night things, right?
Well, not even dance. It's just my most creative time. My most like when I'm like really in there is like past 12 a.m.
Oh.
But like not all the time. That's just historically like
That's
I want
who
to
you
change that, you know. But you know that's my young self. Like my best ideas come out
Wow.
when everyone's asleep.
Wow.
Yeah, but and there's other artists that are like that too. Like I like Lil Wayne a lot, one of that rapper. Not anymore, but he had a lot of times where he'd be like up till 6 creating songs, doing this and that, and it's just like you get so tied into it that like you just keep going and keep going. I used to go to like the gym and create till like 7 a.m. Like like pretty much until I stopped having stuff is when I stopped and I got my sleep. You know, but the thing is, I think going back to success, if I had the freedom
Yeah, yeah.
financially, I could do things like that. But right now, it's like, you know, when you got to work a lot, you can't always tap in like that, you know.
But it's
Yeah.
good that you're moving forward, and I see that you're like dedicating yourself to like dance and like creating like content and like doing all of those things. I feel like that eventually is going to. you
Yeah.
know, you consistency is gonna like if you're consistent, you're gonna get there. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
if you're
that's what I
consistent.
believe in.
Exactly, exactly.
You. But let's go back to the question.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I forgot what you asked too.
It was 5 things about.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, the 5, I think I had 3. I just had another one too that came up with that. So I remember I said, looking at your past self, being consistent.
No, wait, that was a
That was
long
a different
time.
one.
Yeah, and
The 5 things. You asked 5 things about success. Or I forgot what you asked even anymore. Dang.
5 things about success.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about whatever we were talking about. Yeah.
What are 5, if someone were to start like a dance career following a passion,
Yeah.
what are, I don't know what I have
Oh, you're
with
good.
5.
You're good. You're good. 5 is a good number. Yeah.
What are 5, give me like a 5-step process of how
Yeah.
to, since, like if you were able to condense it right now, and you were able to talk to someone who is 20 years old and wants to follow their passion, we're gonna talk about dance because that's what you know.
Yeah.
What's the 5-step process that you learn that are gonna help them get there in a way more efficiently or faster? Or
Yeah. I think putting the hours in, you can't really escape
Yeah.
putting a lot of hours into your craft. So whether that might be class or whether it's creating something every day, I think just putting the hours in is probably like gonna be one of the most generic things. For someone starting off, I think it's who you're around. That's a big one. Like who you're around. If you're around better dancers than you can pick their brain. You can pick up some tips. You can see it firsthand where you want to be. If you have some inspirations beyond who you know, like if you have people that you look up to in different countries and just on the internet, it's good to have those people that are like so up there in your head that you want to strive for that, you know, for people starting off. I think it's taking those risks too. For like a fourth thing, like take small risks. Like, oh, my first time on stage, let's see how it goes. You got to just jump in the water and go for it.
Do you have a technical advice though? Like one that's more like you gotta do like, I don't know,
Yeah.
invest more time in social media. I don't know.
Yeah. I think you should definitely like do like an hour a day at least for something that you want to improve on. So say if you're a dancer and like you're not the best like popper maybe, taking an hour a day to like really pinpoint what you have to, just train, you know, just take the time to really like sit there and like, all right, this is how my body pops, this is how I want to do this, and like don't get too excited about it. If you focus on one thing at a time more than a lot of things, you'll be a lot better. So if you go into like a train and you're like, oh, I gotta focus today on this and this and this
Get
and this
specific, right? Narrow down.
yeah, as opposed to today I'm focusing just on chest pops for an hour. That's how you'll really get stuff down.
Can you describe what pops?
Yeah. So yeah, popping is like, you know, like a style in hip hop. I'm not
Oh,
really, you know, I don't really do it too much, but just like an example.
Oh,
Or like a
okay.
break dancer, you know. So they called power moves. They're called power moves.
Oh,
They do like a bunch of
yeah.
cool stuff, and then they have a lot of style. But yeah, if you just pinpoint one thing and focus on that like every single day, you'll get better at that one thing, you know, for new
The
dancers.
basics, yeah.
And actually for advanced dancers too, you know, like there's always stuff to work on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember the question.
Yeah.
What they don't tell you about the title.
Oh, yeah.
Literally the
What they don't tell you.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
about
The
how
good
long
thing,
you're
I did say, the good thing is, come back to that. The good thing is it's easier than you think if you make it like that.
Okay.
And the other thing is you're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get a lot of overlooked a lot. You're going to feel like, the thing is you're never entitled to anything. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember that too. Like you're only as good as the person next to you. You got to prove that you're better. Like not better, but you got to prove that you have what
it takes.
everyone else doesn't have, you know? So you're going to get a lot of closed doors on you. You're going to get a lot of missed opportunities. You're going to get a lot of times where you almost book something and then it doesn't happen. So that's just part of the game. If you can accept rejection, then you're good, you know?
But I feel like everyone should be able to accept rejection in every field. You know?
Every field, yeah, you're gonna have to be able to not always be that perfect like thing, because perfect doesn't exist. You know, there's process, but you know, you want to get to that point where you have the least amount of holes, so that you're always being hired, so that you're always the first thought in someone's head. You know, so
Have you been able to know how to do it though? Like how to break that cycle of no's?
Yeah. You just gotta keep going until you get a yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, like
Persevere,
this year in particular, we had a lot of crazy opportunities. A lot of them didn't go through, but then we had some stuff that's coming up that's gonna go through. So it's not being too overwhelmed by the no's. You know what I'm saying?
Expect a no, right?
Yeah, if you're like have a crazy opportunity, it doesn't go through, you can't sit there and like let it get to you. You got to see it as like, wow, I'm flattered that they hit me up to do this. I'm flattered that I had the opportunity and I was thought about for this, but it didn't happen. So they think I have what it takes, but it just didn't go through. So let me show the next person.
You gotta have that like cold mindset, right? Like no emotions, because I feel like if you get stuck in your emotions, you're gonna overwhelm yourself for one no.
Yeah, you kind of got to be robotic in a way.
Like
yeah, I had a friend in LA that was in our crew that like he was booking for like a lot of stuff. He was doing Teen Vogue. He was doing a lot of crazy stuff. But when I was with him in LA, like when we'd visit, every day he would just get up and be robotic as hell. He would just like go through the motion and do what he has to do until he gets what he needs to get. It's like a Terminator.
Without
Yeah. Yeah.
Without a dancing Terminator. Oh, he doesn't dance, does he?
He does dance,
yeah.
yeah. So homie Cameron, shout out to Cameron. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you gotta like just move on, move on, move on.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, you
not
gotta
get too
just.
attached to the outcome, which we were talking
Yep,
about later.
yep, yeah.
'Cause still it's gonna maybe a yes or no, but
Yeah,
it's still,
and it's not like it's not gonna hurt. Like there is times where I have
No.
opportunities that were so
Yeah.
cool, it didn't pop up, they didn't go,
Yeah.
they didn't go through. But you know, I just take it as a flattering thing, and then just keep moving to the next thing,
Wow.
as opposed to like, oh, I didn't book this thing to Asia, man, like I suck. You know, like it's okay to feel that, but just feel that for like a day or like. You know,
And move
like
on.
don't dwell in that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
That's when you're gonna start feeling depressed.
Yeah.
Just like
And then
I'm
it's
not going
like-
anywhere. You know, like but you gotta just always see the brighter side of the tunnel. Yeah,
Okay. 3 more.
yeah.
3 more.
Oh, three more. Oh, 3 more things. Yeah. So going back to a good thing about it is the friendships you make and the connections you make. That's not talked about enough when it comes to arts, but mostly dance, because dance is like a very community-based thing. It's just it's built off of working with others and enjoying other people's crafts and talents. Like I have no business knowing people from like Argentina or like South Africa, but we're connected because of dance. So that's a side that people don't really express enough, is like the lifelong relationships and just the good people you'll meet worldwide from dance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who have similar experiences as you, similar
Yep.
ambitions. Yeah.
similar talents and their own talents at the same time. So yeah, that's something that's not talked about. Going back to a bad thing about the process.
Starts crying.
No, yeah, I think the wear and tear on the body too, because like
Oh,
dancers are
yeah.
athletes, you know, like it depends on how hard you train or not. Injuries, they're not gonna happen, but they first depend on what you do. If you're a break dancer, you're gonna be breakdancing injured probably once in your life, you know. If you dance every single day, even with stretching and stuff, like you're gonna feel it eventually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just part of the game, you know. I feel like people don't mention that. I know a lot of friends have had pretty crazy injuries, but it's like, you know, when you go hard in the paint, you just get. Sometimes it happens, you know. It happens to the best of us, you know. Yeah, that's another bad side. On enough with the good thing for the fifth
Okay.
one.
Yes.
Yeah, another good thing that people don't really express is like the empowerment you get from having an idea come to life. Like, because that's what all of it comes from. Walt Disney, everybody had ideas. They just went to the drawing board, had a team with them, and then they made their ideas come to life. And now everyone's enjoying what they did. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with us. It's like, okay, I love this song a lot. I'm gonna hear it on the radio or whatever. I'm driving my car. This actually happened with the TV show. And Gasolina. Yeah, those are our two most viral things. That was all the whole crew. I have a part to play in those things, but not like it's everyone had their part. But for Gasolina specifically, I envision like, you know how we had the doom doom, you know. Paul already had a choreography to that, you know, like before I added the little gunshot thingy. And I was in the car listening to that song, and like that part in the song where it's all kind of quiet, they didn't really have that going on. But in my head, I'm like, yo, what if they added that sound, the doom doom, you know, you know. And then I edited it, had Paul have his choreo, introed that into his choreo, and it just made it look like really like special, you know. Or Chambea, like, you know, I was
I
listening.
saw that one there.
Yeah, I was listening to that in the car too, and Anwar made a choreography to that same song, and it got 1 million views about a year or a month before that. So usually when someone touches a choreography, I don't touch it, but it's in the same crew, and I'm like, you know what, he killed that song, and he made me see it differently. So shout out to Anwar. But I was in the car, you know, I was hearing it for how I wanted to hear it. And I'm like, yo, this song is crazy. Like, I think we could come off and do some crazy stuff to this. So that ended up being our first song on the TV show we did, Roller Dance, because of like the envisionment of, you know, me hearing it out and then making the whole crew believe in it too. And everyone put their part in it, and then it became a real thing. So there's power in having an idea and seeing it come to life for sure.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Just to end it off,
Yeah.
two things. What's a question you will ask your future self?
Yeah.
And what's an advice you will give to your younger self?
Oh dang, yeah. A question I'd ask my future self. Damn, that's good. That's a good question. I'll go with the younger self first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would tell my younger self to stay more focused on the times when it's supposed to be fun, because I had a lot of time frames when, you know, like I'm still going up, but at some of the height of what I did, I was 22, 23, 21. You know, times where it's supposed to be fun, and always have your fun and always enjoy life. But it's never like family is always the one thing, but like parties, the extra stuff is always gonna be there. So, you know, I would tell my younger self like, have fun, but that's not gonna get you nowhere. That's gonna stunt your growth. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna like stop you from going to where you want to get. You can still go out on that Saturday night, but do it every 2-3 weeks instead of every single weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just losing money. Yeah. So that's what I tell my younger self with like at the age of 18, 19. I wasn't a party animal like that. I didn't really drink till I was like 20, you know what I'm saying? So I'll go back in time around that time frame and be like, yo, this is the crunch time. Like, you know, because I think young adults is the most important. Like 20 to 23 is more important, I think, than like 25 to 28.
Why?
Because what you do when you're firstly an adult is gonna help you or break you for the second party being an adult. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta work twice as hard. Well, from what I learned, like I worked really hard when I was 22, 23, 21, so that I had opportunities when I was 24, 25, up until now. You know, and then I worked hard 24, 25, so I have opportunities from, you know, and right now I'm doing the same thing. I'm working hard so I can have stuff in my 30s, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to work hard for the future, pretty much. That's what I would tell myself. My future self, I guess I would ask, like, you know.
You can look at the camera.
I guess I'd ask myself, you know, what, dang, that's a good question. I don't even know what I want to ask myself. You know, I think I'd ask if I still enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I always will, but do we get to a point where we found other stuff, you know? Because, yeah, I'm always open to learning more things beyond dance in the future.
That's a good question.
Yeah, so I kind of want to know what else we get into, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully in 10 years I'll send you that clip and you'll answer that question.
Maybe I'll be a manager or somebody or something.
See.
I don't know. You never know. I'm still open to more things, but I'm still in the grind mode right now.
I love that. How old are you?
I'm 28 now.
I'm 20. Yeah, you're still young.
Yeah, I
You
still
know,
got time,
You still got time. Like until you're 40, like you can grind
Yeah,
until you're
yeah.
40. Yeah.
And the cool thing about dance is like the last generation, there's a lot of 30-year-olds, almost 40 and 40-year-olds that like are still going crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's all about how you take care of yourself and what else you do around dance too.
To be the grandpa dancing.
yeah. I know, right? Going crazy.
Where can people find you?
On YouTube, Fuego Dance Crew, FUEGO, and Instagram, Fuego Dance Crew, but the crew is CR3W. It's a picture of FDC. It's a little logo. My Instagram is Eric Faze Payan. So yeah, Eric Faze, like that's my dance name. Payan.
Oh really? I thought that was your last name.
No, it's my dance name.
Okay.
Yeah, Faze. Yeah, and yeah, YouTube Fuego Dance Crew. We got a lot of little videos there. We're gonna post a lot more coming up, and yeah, I want to do more actually with YouTube. I want to like
on YouTube.
Yeah, I just want to give it more time.
Yeah.
We have a plaque actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Congrats.
like 100,000
That's
views.
crazy.
But I don't want to stop there. I want to do more. So
Do you guys upload frequently or no?
we do, but not as much as we should. So
If you guys already have that, I feel like that says a lot about your content.
yeah, that's good. I want to go for that million, but a million views like on YouTube a million subscribers on YouTube is it's a task. You got to really be doing your stuff to get a million subscribers, but it'll happen sometime.
Yeah, that's good though. I didn't know.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Well, thank you everyone, and thank you for making your time to come here. It's a pleasure always talking with you, and thank you everyone for watching. Follow Eric, and you'll see how cool he moves. Bye bye.
Cool, thank you.